Ladies and gentlemen, in a few seconds, we will be live on live stream from Iligan City National High School. Please stand by.
From the roar of our majestic waterfalls to the bustling energy of our growing streets, this is ICNHS Spotlight, the podcast where we talk about the future of the city majestic waterfalls. I am your host, Gabrielle Venice Luna, and today we are sitting down for an exclusive deep dive conversation with a man who transitioned from the boardroom to the mayor's office. He's a businessman by trade and a public servant by heart, and he's currently steering Iligan through one of the biggest periods of transformation in recent history. Today, we're going beyond the headlines. We're talking about the smart city vision, the arrival of global giants like SM and KCC Mall, and the personal challenge of leading a city in transition. But more than that, we're getting to know the man behind the title. Let us welcome Mayor Frederick Siao. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mayor. Salamat jud kaayo sa paggahin og time ang inani na episode sa podcast namo.
Walay isa pa yan og excited po ko no nga mo attend og mahimong guest ninyo dinhi sa inyong programa.
Okay. Before we delve deep into a serious action, Mr. Mayor, so since pagsalubong nato sa bag-ong taon sa year 2026, mangumusta ko how's life of the Mayor Siao?
Well, ang tinuod nga adlaw-adlaw nga kinabuhi sa mayor is very hectic. Now, makita mo gid ninyo personally karong adlaw nga pag-anhin ninyo nga daghay bisita, daghay ang bisita nga lain-lain og tuyo no. Nga mo bisita og mo makigatubang sa tuwa. But we have taken the challenge to run and manage the city. Then we have to accommodate and kinangla atubangon nato ang mga tao.
Okay. I think people often see you in a barong or a suit, looking very official, looking very mayor. So, to break the ice, Mayor, when you actually have a free time like Saturday or Sunday morning, walay meetings, no ribbon cuttings, or just a normal day of Mayor Frederick Siao, how do you spend those first few hours, Mayor?
Well, kung nasa balay, naka-shorts, naka-t-shirts, walay brief. Pero kung syempre kung na-engagement sa gawas depende no, but usually kung dili ka importante, I usually wear my kanang gitawag na to kanang murag jogger nga pants nga medyo light siya, mas komportable, t-shirts, then rubber shoes mo gawas.
So are there any hobbies na kanang ma-surprise ang mga Iligano na naa-ade ay ani si Mayor Siao? Like, unsa ayo ML player ba, COD-M player, or like just a plantitor, like reading books ba, Mayor?
No, I'm my days are typically spent like pag nako din sa Iligan, talagang occupied kay kuno. Even weekends, naging ko yung mga engagement, mga invitation sa gawas. But kung naalang ko sa balay, kung naalang ko yung oras, then I have to somehow relax, no? Like usually it's reading. No, dili naman books ang reading karon, more about na naman tanang information sa it's either sa cellphones or sa iPad.
Yes.
which I
Very true.
normally use as my as a tool nga mangitag reading materials.
Okay, Mayor. Now, let us delve deep na sa serious action na kung
Okay,
giingon ka ganina. Let's look back a bit, Mayor. Before becoming a mayor here in Iligan City, you were very well known as a businessman. How did that private sector experience shape the way that you lead the City Hall today?
Well, my engagement with our family business as well as with my experience in school and in my other private engagement in Manila somehow shaped my kay balo, no, the foundation for my skills in management. Dili ra mo gud, this is not what you only learn during sa imong actual nga trabaho, but this is learned through experience, through different engagement with private sectors and other corporate offices.
Okay.
So nakita na ako nga, you need you have in order to be a very somehow trusted with kanang naakay kanang a term, no, unsay mayo nga term anay ha, kanang imong character na ay na integrity is that you have to practice kanang kinahanglan mo ma-practice nimo unsay maayo or unsay insakto o how you handle situations, how you decide, and which one to prioritize. You learn that somehow through theories, but at the same time, mas importante niya siya through experience and during practice.
Okay, Mayor. So, what exactly made you decide to run for mayor? That you're already successful in business. Was there
Ano mo na siya? There's a transition.
Okay, Mayor.
No, moderation lang ko. There's a transition. I was exposed to governance, to the government when I was appointed as a sports director kaniadto by Mayor Lawrence Cruz. So during that time, nakita na ko nga, syempre you get to mingle, you get to see some counselors, no, nga imo ma-meet. At the same time, nakita na ko nga, dili man ni siya ingana ka complicated ang ilang trabaho. Kayam din na ako ilang trabaho as a counselor. So when after 6 years as a sports director, I ran for counselor, a sports director. Then after 6 years, ran kong counselor, nakadaog ko. I served 2 terms as a member of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. As a counselor for 2 terms, that's 6 years. So during my time, syempre, it's more about passing ordinances, resolutions, and putting your vision into reality by asking the mayor for support. No, kasi ang executive, ang mayor may ang major function aning decision making sa local government. What the members of the council do is to file resolution if muuyon ang mayor, if ganahan siya, if tanaw niya nga nindot kaninga project, then iyang suportahan. So when I was councilor, there are a lot of actually mga ordinances nga ako na nabuhat, no. One of them is the sports incentive for our athletes din sa Iligan. That's up until now mo gyapon na ginagamit, no. Well, they're trying to amend that right now kasi ang figure or the amount nga stated sa ordinance kaniadto is gamay pa. Ang value karon lahi naman, isaka naman. So they're amending that. I have ordinances like the creation of the Iligan City Disaster Risk and Reduction Management Office. That's one. Kita ang author niya na ug hantod karon mo gyapon na ang ginagamit. One of my ordinance that somehow became a landmark here in Iligan is the Iligan night market.
Oh, night market.
Ako man ang gibuhat isip ordinansa kay gusto nako nga unta ma-implement sa mayor. But na-implement yun ni Mayor Cruz kaniadto while he was the mayor, but during the time of former Mayor Rehencia, they decided to not to continue with that project. But karon pagbalik na ako na po nang i-continue as a mayor. And it's really doing very well considering that we are collecting a lot of taxes na nga magamit ato sa city from the night market. So it's doing very well. So from there na transition ko nga my ultimate dream is mahimo ko mayor kasi ang mayor kasi ang trabaho sa mayor is more on the executive side. Ang trabaho sa mayor is more on doing more on managerial position. Managerial position na siya, so mas you can put your dreams into reality. Kung unsay mo gusto, unsay mo nakita nga medyo kulang, pwede na nimo mabuhat. But I ran for Congress first. Nanay mo ko congressman 2016 taman sa 2022. I ran for Congress for the reason that bakante ang position sa Congress at that time. Because that was the end of the term of Congressman Belmonte, so ako inidagan ko dito. Then out of the 9 candidates, ako inidaog.
Wow.
So karon I transition into the local government, and then what we are doing right now is to make sure that the organization, the local government is put in place. No, the offices, the people in the office, the staff should be capable, no, to handle what they are designated to do. So medyo nag-reorg mi sa sulod. And eventually everything follows, your vision, your dreams, ang imong mga plano for Iligan slowly will be put into place. So that's for now. Mo nagingon sa kung comics pa itutuloy kay padayon pa.
Padayon.
O ano may comics karon no? Na to be continued.
To be continued.
Ang unsay atong direction sa Iligan, but we still, what's important is that we have these targets. We have this core vision na mo sa Iligan. I'm not saying mine because I want everyone to be part of it. So I want everyone to share, mutabang o mo participate sa pagpabangon sa atong syudad sa Iligan.
You've managed a private companies, now a whole city.
Yeah.
What is the one business principle that simply does not work in government, and one business principle that you think every government official should adopt?
Well, i-compare lang nato. It is somehow, ang question is, how do you compare being a private employee or a business owner nga ikaw tagiya rather than working with the public,
yes,
with the government? Well, one very distinct is that in the private sector, if you want to do this, dali ra kay nimong buhaton. Now, I want to do this is if mo ni ako atong direction sa atong company, you talk it out before the year end. This is our targets for next year, for 2026, for example. Same thing with the local government, but mas dali buhaton sa private because it's private money. No?
Yes.
If you're the owner of the business, then you can say, okay, I want this. Immediately, maski na dili pa year end o di pa magsugod layo pa magsugod sa bagong tuig, you can do it any time of the year. Basta lang na available nga funds. Unlike the government, you have to do it first month of the year.
Yes, Mayor.
Kasi ang budget dili nga na kadali. You have to put a budget, you have to allocate the money, and then that's kung nanay available, that's the time you can implement the project. So pareha na tanan, regardless this is for supplemental, additional phase, or kanang dugang sa proyekto nga existing. So ano gid siya kanang mas lisod sa local o sa gobyerno kasi ang atong procurement process is very strict, no, compared to the private sector. Ang private sector, okay, pwede ba o na kwarta din ni ato lang dito palitan lang ning mga butanga. Di ba? Ingana ka dali.
Speaking of business, Mayor, Iligan City is now booming. We have SM Mall and KCC coming in soon. Napag-speculate na what if daw magbuhat og Starbucks it patayo there sa Iligan. So how do you balance inviting this quote-unquote outside investors while protecting our local mom and pop shop?
Yeah, one good thing about Iligan is that makita ninyo nga nabuhi gyud ang ato mga local nga brands. No, there's a lot of restaurant, coffee shops nga locally. So we are very much encouraging them to do that kasi that's another market that is somehow kanang ingon tag mas madali, mas ma-afford sa mga estudyante. Kasi if you have to also look at the geographic or the kaning ato ang geographic kaning mga tao sa Iligan, no? Kaning mga geographic there's a term sometimes kalimot ang mga tao sa Iligan daghan may population nato nga mga estudyante. So they cannot afford going to Starbucks. Di ba? Kaya mas mahal man.
Mahal jud.
Di ba? Then matempted pa ka dito. So there are a lot of choices. So our market caters to different class, no? Different market members or market and different buyers, so different stakeholders.
Okay.
So, nine choices. That's why we encourage them. And one good thing about Iligan is maybe it's the ako nakita ang mas active karon ang mga younger generation Mas sila, mas they're into business. So, we encourage, that's why we have that night market. We encourages support sa mga MSMEs, no, mga gagmayng negosyante para pas mobibo ta rather than only concentrating on the big retailers or bigger mga established mga companies. So one good thing about us is that we engage a lot with our stakeholders, ang mga partners natin.
You transition, Mayor, from being a congressman who makes laws to being a mayor who executing them. So, what was the most surprising challenge na imuhang na face, Mayor, when you first sat in the mayor's chair?
Well, the challenge or karang eye-opener is that medyo ang mayor, very physically very toxic. Kapoy gyud ang trabaho sa mayor and it drains your energy a lot. So lahi gyud kayo kasi ang Congress, well, you're just one of the many congressmen or Congress representatives. So lahi gyud kayo and you absorb a lot of problems na instead nga dili imong problema, problema sa atong syudad, problema sa wala nga matrabaho sa una, mahulog nga kinahanglan nimo sa doon kasi akarang imong saluon kay ikaw man ang mayor karon kinahanglan imong buhaton. But lisod mo ko kay if you pressure yourself into doing things na medyo di na nimo
Makaya.
madali-dali ba. So we have to also balance things kay simba ko magpahulay tag sayo.
So, lisod jud mahimong leader, no? Lisod nagali.
Dili sayon mahimong leader.
Dili sayon mahimong leader.
Dili sayon mahimong leader.
Okay. So, lisod jud like dili sayon mahimong leader, dili sa sa groupings pagali sa school unsaon na ba kaya ang pag mayor sa Iligan. So, what is your personal philosophy for handling criticisms while staying focused on your long-term goals here sa Iligan City?
Well, let's be honest. There are a lot of criticisms that are politically motivated. We can identify, maka-identify taon sana sila, kinsa na sila. But there are issues na problema sa atong lungsod nga talagang addressed by concerned citizens, and we take action on that. Although we cannot solve that immediately, but it's in our agenda, no? Kung unsa atong dapat buhaton, we're not taking a blind eye on these issues kay gusto man ta nga ang atong lugar mo lambo o mo asenso ang tao. So, we're making sure that kung namagani mga issues, mga problema, kung ma-address dayon, atong i-address dayon. Kung dili, kung it takes to have budget, then we should allocate budget for that. So, well, we're not perfect. Just like I told you nga, ang Iligan exists long before us, no? Nanang problema diha, wa mabadlong sa una, then di man na sayon nga badlungon nimo karon dayon. Then immediately to take action and go against the perpetrators, no, ang mga katong violators.
Yes.
So take it easy, no? Eventually pag focus ta sa atong trabaho, then eventually the rest will follow.
Now, let us get into the nitty-gritty of the current events. So, gisalubong man nato ang year 2026. So, Mayor, what are your top priority for the city this year? And can you share a recent project na you believe na it has made the biggest impact so far?
Well, unang-una is that after my first term, my first 3 years, we can now feel or we can see the changes sa atong local government. No, ang atong mga katauhan nga ang atong mga empleyado sa gobyerno mas na karon, mas participative, mas na sila kanang mas empowered na atong mga tao, ang mga nasa gobyerno karon, and mas nanay capacity or nanay capability nga mo share, mo tabang sa toa, kasi we have hired a lot of new graduates or younger employees that can lead or can help our city. So para sa kuha, mo na pinaka importante, no, the core or the LGU itself should be well manned. You cannot manage a good team kung ang members sa team dili maayo. So if you have good members, then mas dali for us to work for a better result, no? So excited ta sa atong next step, which is my second term, kasi nakaplastar na atong mga plano. We have identified areas, no? Itawag natong districts nga for example, ang MSUIT Tibangay area, that is the kanang educational districts, no? Dinhi sa Palao, this is the recreational districts. Na dinhi ang mga restaurants, di ba, makita ninyo.
Yes.
Ang focus. That's why we have extra For example, we have this electrical post, no, na makita ninyo nga highlight sa tong area din is Palao. And what else? We have our Budima or the tourism districts dito sa Timuga, Timuga nga area, Buroon, Dalipuga nga dito kalan nga area. Maria Cristina kanang Budima nga district. Nga ato di na focus sa ato mga promotional or pag-promote o pag-market sa Iligan. Sa Tinago, no, and that also include Sikyop, another waterfalls na medyo mas mailhan na karong panahon na. Then we also capitalize on the advantage that we have, which is the tribe people of Iligan.
Yes.
The Christian, the Lumad, and the Muslims being members that coexist peacefully here in Iligan. Well, usapon sa atong makita is that ang atong peace and order has improved a lot, no? Pinagi sa mas aktibong engagement nato sa atong mga national agencies nga partners like the police, the PNP, no, and the Philippine Army nga nagtabang yun sila sa pagpalikon sa atong peace and order nga efforts. And in terms of projects, we have a lot on the table. Like unang-una, the water system project that will cost a lot of money. That's why we're trying to engage with the with private partners through a PPP partnership program with the private sector para maka-partner sa government, so we can manage the system very much better compared to what we are so used to have, what we have right now, which is purely government. And our waste collection, waste disposal, mas nakaplastar na. And then ang problema nato sa mga baha-baha sa Iligan, nanatay drainage nga master plan nga atong ma-implement sugod next year kasi we have to take a loan, then mafundingan, para makasugod na to sa project. So these are the so far that is what we are doing right now.
Speaking of listening, Mayor, the community, especially us students here in this room, ilahad yung give push ko nila to ask this kind of question. So the community or us students has noticed the heavy traffic jams lately, especially early in the morning, especially affecting us students and other workers. What are your thoughts on this, Mayor, and is there any plan in motion?
Okay. We're conducting a study right now on how we can manage the traffic better. Kasi we're so limited in infrastructures, road networks, that we cannot just it's not gonna happen overnight nga naaday immediately na bag-o dahil nga dalan. So we have to make do with what we have right now. There's some issues with the C3 na dili pa gyud kayo maagian, but we are now engaging the DPWH to fast track, kasi these are projects by the national government and DPWH as well as the coastal road nga unta makatabang ni sa pag-disperse sa traffic dinhi sa syudad. But again, it's not under us, so we cannot expect na matagaan tag funding, na dako kayong funding nga mauna ang atong projects, madali atong proyekto. So we have to have an intensive study, matun-an nato unsay flow. Nakita po nato ang problema sa coordination between the national government, DPWH in this case, with the local government. Kaya nag-implement sila asphalt overlay pag repairs mga dalan without coordination. So we have taken notice, we have already wrote them a letter na unta next time, not during the peak hours or not during the peak months of the year nga mag-implement mo proyekto. Kaya ilang gi-implement ato panahon na during the Christmas season.
Daghan na kay mga
So
tao.
medyo daghan kay tao. So we will be strictly implementing the no double parking around the streets here in Iligan para maka-loosen up sa traffic. Dapat mga tao karon kinahanglan na mutuon og lakaw-lakaw, no? Mag-parking sa layo rather than kanang we're so used to live our life nga nata sa gamay nga syudad. Let's say ang jeepney para diretso din mo naog lang dayon, that will cause traffic. We have to have a designated bus stop or jeepney stop nga dito lang yun sila pwede mo naog. So ako lang we need to sacrifice. Everyone should sacrifice. Kay kung dili, lisod kayo, badlungon ang butantag 200,000 katao nga naa dinhi sa syudad Galakaw every day. So we need your help, we need your support. It's not easy. I tell you, it's not easy. And ang kaning epekto nini it's sa ato ra mangyapon. So kita ra mangyapon ga suffer. For example, in other countries, particularly in America, nagani traffic, give and take. Ang Pilipino, ang style na to, let's be honest.
Take.
Unhanay, kinsay mo gitkit. Paisugay, hantol nga kinsay makaunang lusot. That's a habit that we should somehow correct. Kay, kung dili, kita ra mangyapon. Kita ra gyapoy katawaan sa ubang tao. No? So, as younger generation, you're the unsay tawag inyong generation?
Gen Z.
Gen Z pa ba mo? Why na mo? Unsa to?
Padulong.
No?
Gen Alpha, Gen Z.
Gen Z na mo karon.
Gen Alpha this year, sir.
This year.
Gen Alpha.
Gen Z pa mo, no? Ang katong mga Gen Alpha may magasunod.
Yes, sir.
It's about time nga you should help out, no? Let's not usay man gud mingog, di ko ganahan sa mayor, di ko ganahan sa incumbent administration. Kanang attitude gani nato nga dili na dayon mo participate. Violator na lang dayon. Why is it that in other countries, in America for example, why do we follow orders? Why do we follow street kaning ato mga street signs? Ngano pag-abot sa Iligan, hawod man kayo. O na pag-abot sa Pilipinas, di ba? So I think the change should be coming from ourselves. Rather than expecting our leader to just command and solve our problem without contributing.
Yes, Mayor. So let us go back to the year 2025, Mayor. The 2025 election saw a lot of shift. You've been very vocal about those quote-unquote undangon na nato ang politika and stuff.
Yeah.
Realistically, Mayor, unsa kalisod to get your former rivals to sit at one table for the sake of Iligan City?
Well, I'm very happy right now, no? Ang nidaog nga Vice Mayor gikan sa 𝘵𝐴𝐻 nga grupo, but we have a good personal relation.
Yes.
Kay amigo mangubitaan, and so far in terms of governance, wala tay bikil. Maayo ang relasyon. Then ang gikan po sa Congress, wala na kanang mga kanang nitty-gritty nga away kay gani sa politika.
Yes.
Except lang for a few groups o individuals nga kanang nagsaba-saba sa Facebook, which is kung basahon nimo kanang mga issues gani nga karana nga ipahid gyud po sa kuha, no, ipahid gyud po sa politika. Then well, okay. Di man gyud sila makontento. Masiod sa ako na unsay atong paningkamot. Makita man po na ninyo sa tinuod lang ang Iligan karon is in terms of business, in terms of GDP, we're number 2 in the entire Philippines. Number 1 in Region 10. GDP is 8.8. Sa Cagayan de Oro is only 6.8. Meaning, dili man ni siya ngong padakanay syudad. It's the capacity of that city ang gigraduhan. So, in terms of improvement from the previous years, mas dako ang improvement sa Iligan, well, except lang sa Puerto Princesa, kumpara sa laing syudad sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
So, it shows that our unsa ni ang atong policies din sa Iligan, atong governance really made the difference. And only we were told, no, I was told by the NEDA or 𝘍𝘍 that we are only hitting 9.9% of our potential. Imagine we still have we still have 91%.
Okay, Mayor.
Dako pa kayo. So imagine if we can just provide good water supply, we can improve our solve the problems sa atong garbage and then the drainage system, especially the water. I tell you, mas mulambo pag yun ang Iligan.
Yes. Now, we are done sa kanang mga serious action na related ani na topic, Mr. Mayor. So, dito na punta sa murag funny or kanang mga personal about ni Mayor bitaw. So, Mayor, kanang what is the most misunderstood thing about Mr. Mayor?
Ako, first thing, I'm sure, pag tanaw ninyo sa ako, unsay tawag, mataha. Di ba?
Yes.
Kaya I look serious, but once you know me, gyapon ko, kanang komedyante o joker, kutihon nga tao. That's me. Maybe it's how I look. Akong mo gini akong itsura, mo gini akong naong. But always I take my job seriously. I take my responsibility seriously, but even sa work, sige po kong komedya. Kaya gusto ko malinawon o kanang dili na ako madibdib ang problema sa kabugaton sa problema sa Iligan.
So, when the position mayor hat comes off and you're just Mr. Frederick Siao,
Yes.
where in Iligan do you go to find peace and quiet?
Well, staying at home is very relaxing. Kay medyo private man kay among balay. Sometimes akong ganahan especially during the pandemic, those years, na ako sa bukid kay mo na akong ganahan. But siyempre, I still want to watch movie. I watch Netflix. I listen to Spotify. And well, I like to learn. I like to know what's happening in the world. So, nako sa ako ang sa internet.
Okay.
Gatanaw-tanaw.
So, Mayor, ang mga batanon diri sa Iligan kanang close jud kay sa imuha, Mayor. They really liked you. Napa jud saying na gitawag ka og Daddy Siao or Papa Siao. Unsay take nimo ana, Mr. Mayor, na gitawag ka Papa Siao?
Well, siguro that's because I've been very supportive sa sports. Not only in sports but also in education. That's why a lot of kids or younger generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, kailas ako no, and then I always make sure that makita na ko mga bata, makighalubilo, makigkarang mutagad sa ilaha kay sa mga ordinaryong bata di man na nila malimtan. No, di man na nila malinton. Ang mayor ako naka high five. Di ba? Di na nila malintan. So ako lang po dili man ni siya pilit, no, but dili pinugos, but I really enjoy this talking to kanang medyo ang engagement ako sa mga kabatanunan.
So, nakita na ko sa social media, especially sa TikTok o sa Facebook, Mayor. So, naay mga edits na papugiay daw og mayor. Tas ang representative daw sa Iligan kay si Mr. Mayor Siao.
Lupig biyata ni Vico Soto. Saan to magdaon?
Ikaduha ka ni Mr. Vico Soto, sir.
Well, binuang may no na. Pero it's funny, no? Makahunaw na. Usay, sa tinod lang, usay, ma-amaze ko sa inyong mga language karon. Mga kabatanunan karon. Lahi inyong mga language, gani inyong mga slang. Wala ko kasabot. Ito sa mani. And namo ko yung mga staff kong batanon. So, mangutana ko nila. Well, it's fun. It's really fun to engage with the younger generations kasi you learn a lot, no? At the same time, if you look at my office, kung tawag ninyo akong office, daghan din yung mga batanon.
Yes.
Rather than those or my age or mas tigulang na ako. Nagya po yung pipila kabok na bilin, but a lot of them are really very young, 20 plus, 30s, na nag-work under sa tuwa. Kasi mas lahigin ang mga batanon karon. And always, let's always remind the younger generation that let's not always be fooled by kanang mga sa social media gani nga walay fact check.
Yes.
Nga mga mag-release og mga message kanang mga pangilad. No, sometimes kasi we thought na sige gawas diya kay medyo naka-English lang in English pagkasulat abi natog mo na ni tinuod, but a lot of them are just manufactured, no, by it's either by individual pero wala gyud sila but they lack the information. Sometimes they're manufactured really is to fool the people. There are kanang mga cases. So, careful kita. We need to inform the public na especially the mga kabatanunan nga we have to make sure nga legit gini nga mga information nga panggawas.
Pero legit jud mayor na ikaw pud ang pinakapogi jud sa Iligan na mayor.
Dili po.
Humble lang si mayor.
Dili po.
So lastly, Mayor, what are your message to the Iliganons, especially to those mga kabatanunan na gusto mo pursue og politics, who wants to be you, Mayor?
Well, I would like to encourage the younger generation to get involved first. Not necessary in politics. If you're built for politics, then go for it. But getting involved in your community, makita ninyo unsay inyong matabang, unsay ma-share ninyo is better. A lot of us, usay manggod, kanang mga barangay, we don't care. We really don't care kung unsa, but eventually if it falls, the rain or ang mga leaders na to, it falls into the wrong hand. Kita ang suffer, kamo ang suffer.
Yes.
So mas mayo kung namoy kebalo, mas mo involve mo kay mas tinuod, mas tunay ang inyong mga kasing-kasing. Labaw na ang mga kabatanunan. So let's not be mas mayong dilit na madala or ma-influence sa dili maayo. So let's try to serving the government is so difficult.
Yes.
Even if you work with kanang government institutions like for example Iligan City National High School, lisod kayo. No, kasi you need ang government doing things with the government, especially sa budget, is so difficult. Unlike the private sector, mas dali. Then ang accountability sa government is bugat kayo. So a lot of our leaders try to do it fast o gina-shortcut. Diya na din usahin mo sulod ang abuso. That's why para kanako sa mga kabatanunan, get yourself involved para makita ninyo kinsa inyong mga leaders sa inyong community kung what they are doing is right or dili. Kasi kung dili ta involved ang mga younger generation, kasagaran mo involved diha ang mga tiguang nga walang alam ang ilang self-interest lang kanunay, ang ilang una-unaon, and then mismanage ang office. So that involves the entire community. Wala dili mainsakto, di mataganog insakto nga kanang direksyon. So kinsay mag-suffer, di ba ang katawan lang. So mo na yung mingon ko, mag-encourage ko sa mga younger generation to be involved. Involve yourself with the community, sa inyong matabang. Eventually, if you like really to serve, not because you want that as a job, o mo na imong kanang imong source of income, but kung imong passion na gyud diha, buhata. But kung ikana lang diha ko kay nakoy source of income na nakoy trabaho, but dili na maguna mao. So ang dapat kung sa inyong gihuman sa college, mao po dapat ang inyong kapaingnan as a vehicle for working in the private sector, in other government institutions, rather than going into politics and get elected and mauna na rin imong personal nga interest rather than ang pagserbisyo.
So, Mayor Siao, thank you for being so open as today. Salamat jud salamat sa paggahinog oras. Asenso Iliganon.
Asenso Iliganon.
A huge thanks to Mayor Frederick W. Siao for sharing his time and insights with us. Here in ICNHS Spotlight. Once again, I am Gabrielle Venice Luna, your host for today's episode. Thank you and good day.
Asenso Iliganon!
Isang